we're making this a really special night, and I'm so glad you guys are here for our first ever Kings Live Music Nights here at the Grammy Museum. Let's make some noise and give it up for Jamie and Commons, you guys.
Okay, this is a song about zombies.
Inside me, leaning on my way. Lord, I live inside me, leaning on my way. Leave me home.
Hi, this is Gary Schwinn from Access.com. I'm here with Jamie N. Commons at the Grammy Museum for the LA Kings Live Music Night, and we're just going to spend a couple minutes with him. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so it's the first one, first LA Kings Live Music Night, and you're the man for the job.
I wasn't aware of this.
Indeed.
How exciting.
Indeed.
Well, I wanted to.
Yeah, so also I understand it's going to be your first NHL game.
It is, yeah. I used to play a bit when I grew up in Chicago as well as England, so I used to play a bit back then. I used to freeze the park over. But yeah, I've never actually seen a proper game before, so exciting times. I've always wanted to go, yeah, but I never made it out to a Blackhawks game or anything like that, and obviously growing up mainly in England, there's not a lot of competitive hockey going on. There's hockey like where you run around, but that's for girls. So,
right.
Yeah.
Is that something you did a lot in Chicago? Is play hockey on the pond?
Yeah, I mean every winter is definitely the highlight of the winter, and until the high school kids came along and flattened you. But yeah, up until then it was good fun.
So you've opened for Bruce Springsteen, and here you are at the Grammy Museum. It's a very intimate theater. How does your approach change from one to the other?
I suppose it doesn't really. I try not to think about, when you're performing, if you know what I mean. Depends on the crowd, but it's more of an intimate thing. This, so I think you tend to take things a bit slower with the performance, because you can ring it out a bit more and hold people a little bit longer. But yeah, for the big 50,000 capacity things, you gotta well, even if you don't mean to, you tend to go faster and louder and more. Yeah, so yes, we're going to play acoustic versions of kind of loud songs today as well, so I don't think we're getting that loud, but yeah, should be really cool.
Take me back to that experience of opening for Bruce Springsteen. Like, you step on stage and you see all those people. What was kind of your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was fairly mind-blowing. I mean, you never think you're gonna play in front of that many people when you start or whatever, and it was us and then the Black Crowes and then Springsteen. So I'd say it's probably the best day of my life. I mean, you get to play in front of whatever 55,000 people, and then just hang out backstage with the E Street Band, drinking beer and watching the Black Crowes, and then get to watch Bruce Springsteen. So yeah, couldn't really pick a better day than that, really.
I imagine.
Even if you dreamed it. So yeah, to get semi-paid for it as well is a very, very good plus point, yeah.
Absolutely. So we're talking hockey tonight, but you also had a song that was the theme song for the World Cup. What was your reaction when you found out that happened?
Yeah, that was a bit of a twofer. That's my new American word while I've been over here. It's a twofer. It's a great phrase. Yeah, I'm trying to work that into everything. Because, yeah, so you got obviously I'm a massive soccer fan. So, just being in any way involved with that and all the amazing players they had in that was just incredible. But also at the same time, having Jay-Z featured on it, so you got, the being on a track with Jay-Z is another one where it's like, how did that happen? And I don't really even own any hip-hop albums, so to be on the same track as a legend, like he's one of the few guys that I really get in that and really love in that genre. So yes, it was a real another what the hell's happened kind of moment,
How does that measure up to ending up on, say the Walking Dead soundtrack or something like that? Are you a fan of the Walking Dead? Yeah,
well, yeah, I was a big before I was on the Walking Dead. I was a big fan of it, so it was a real just to be completely honest, I've actually stopped watching the show after the song went on season 3, just because it kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit. It's like, it's like that Groucho Marx quote. It's like, I wouldn't want to be part of a club that would let someone like me in it, you know. So it kind of killed the show for me, but at the same time, yeah, just to be like, I was like the biggest fan up to that point. So yeah, it was great. So it just happened again. I'm a big fan of this show called Justified, which, you know, it's about a guy wearing a hat and a coat like this and delivering justice in the South. But yeah, and so we've been pitching for that for like the last 2-3 seasons, like trying to get on it, and it's the final season just out at the moment, and we managed to get a song in it. So there's another like, you know,
very nice.
That was like a few years of trying to get on that, but yeah, so that's another amazing moment.
Been on some late night talk shows, and I've talked to other musicians that have been on those. What was their kind of reaction like after you played? What kind of response did you get from them?
Well, Conan, I didn't realize how big Conan is. He's like, because I'm like 6'3" or something, but he's like 6'7", 6'6" or something like that. So yeah, that was kind of weird meeting him, because you know, you just don't realize how big he is. And he's a big guitar guy as well. So he liked the Gretsch I was playing or whatever. And backstage there in the green room at Conan, you got like, he's like got all these like mini amps set out. You know, you're not like those, you've seen like School of Rock, they have the small little ones and stuff. And he's got like all these effects and stuff, so you can just go play around with that in the band room back there. So that was really cool. And then with Kimmel, I didn't really meet him that much, but we just shook hands, which was cool enough in itself, to be fair. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, no crazy late night, you know, coke binge stories with any of those guys, unfortunately.
At what age did you start playing?
I suppose when I was about 15, 14, but I was doing classical music before that in the school band, so, which isn't very cool, but you know, it's a good like basis or whatever. So yeah, I mean, and then it was just yeah, it was just option A all the time, and I didn't really have an option B, and I wasn't, you know, particularly excited by a lot of other subjects, whatever. So it was just hammering music from about 15 onwards. It was all about music. I mean, yeah, they always say like don't have a plan B, because, you know, whatever. But I don't know. I couldn't comment, because I guess, you know, only having one plan worked out for me. But I don't know. You know, it's a strange discussion, that one. But yeah, who knows.
I understand the Allman Brothers was a big sort of influence on you growing up.
Yeah. That was my first show.
Oh, your first show. How old were you at your first show?
It was in Chicago, so I want to say about like 11, 12 or something like that. And yeah, I remember a lot of strange smelling smoke, and what I was like, why is there like mushrooms all behind the stage and fairies and stuff? They're like really into like little rings or something. But I was like, yeah, sure, that's it, that's why.